Hey everybody, it's Jason with Threefold Solutions again. I'm going to make a quick video on all the new Planning Center updates. Planning Center has been really busy. We have a ton of new updates. It's spring 2025. I want to run down quickly all those new updates, where you can find them, how to utilize them, and I'm going to do it quickly so you can get one video with all the updates in one place. Now, I'm going to say we love making these videos. So if you love watching our videos, share them with a friend, somebody else on your team, somebody who might also enjoy learning a little bit more about Planning Center and taking a little bit deeper dive. Subscribe to the channel if you want to continue to get some of these updates and some of these how-to videos that we create. All right, jumping right into the video, let's get started. Let's take a look at those updates. Okay, let's jump in here. To start off with, the first thing I want to show you is a new workflows feature. So I'm going to click on workflows, and we're going to work from the most recent backwards. So I'm going to start off with workflows. Let's take a look here on my background refresh workflow. The first one is, ta-da, archive workflows. This is a big one. I've been waiting for this one forever. This is a big deal. Now, when you click on archive workflows, we can actually save them. We can put them into the archive. You will also find that we have this new feature over here as well. So you'll see archived workflows right here, and you can actually take a look at all of those workflows that you've saved for later. No more having to name them ZZ-XYZ workflow. You can now just simply archive them, and it's such a long time this has been coming. I've been waiting and waiting for this one. Okay, so that's workflows. Now I want to take a look really quick at a new form option. So let's click on forms. I'm going to just grab this contact us form, and I'm going to go to the fields. This new feature is pretty cool. When you're using workflow fields, you now have the opportunity down at the bottom to potentially skip people who have already been added to this workflow. So if somebody's already in the workflow and they're trying to jump back in by filling out a form and making a selection, if they've already been through it, there's no longer a need to put them in there, and this new option will allow us to skip those people. Now, that's one of the cool features that we can find here inside of people. There are more people options, so let's jump over to lists, and let's take a look at something that I think has been coming also for a long time, and that has to do with people lists themselves. You'll now notice in the first conditions drop down, you've got a ton of new information, and what they've done is they've taken all that information that you used to have to select personal for, and then you would go find age, grade, member type, all the different things that were based on personal information, and they've consolidated that now with these little labels on them on the right hand side. You'll be able to scroll through this. It's a much longer list, I will say, but now all of it is in the first people drop down. You don't have to go looking for it in the second conditional option. So now everything is in this first particular drop down, which is great. We've needed that for a long time. Now, the next thing is when you've got a workflow set up, I should have stayed there before because there's another one. You've got the ability now. Let's go back and let's clear our filters. Let's just pick a particular workflow. Sometimes you've got automations that send people into workflows. Now you can see when that workflow was created and they selected add to workflow, you'll see where it's coming from. So in this particular one, we've got an add to workflow, and it has to do with a volunteer interest form. Now this one's hidden, but the main thing here is that you can now see where people are being sent from what app, from what function or action into the workflow itself under this automations tab, which is awesome. Now here's another one you may or may not have seen, but under the actions menu, you also have another duplicate workflow option. That's been around for a little while now, but much needed and much appreciated. Thank you, Planning Center, for that one as well. Okay, let's jump into a couple more of these. I want to jump in next to the Groups app. There's another new feature here that just launched. If you're somebody who's been dealing with analytics and reports and you would like to get more information here, and there it is right there, easily export multi-group attendance into a CSV to gain deeper insights. So you've now got this new CSV export option. You can now do this across multiple apps and get a bigger view of all of your groups. I know a lot of times people are wanting a little bit more on the reporting reporting side, this is a step in that direction. It's not quite as robust as having it right here on the actual dashboard, but it's a step in the right direction when you've got to compile different reports from one particular set of groups or a bunch of groups or all your groups. So that's another great one. Now, also we've got some new ones in the home screen area. I'm going to go up here and I'm sorry, I said home screen. I mean home app. You're going to go to the home app and here's one of the new widgets that they've just added. It's called the Notepad. Now there's a couple new ones here. So when you click add widget, you have the ability now to select home and you're going to see this Notepad, quick links, and then of course tasks, which have always been there. The Notepad one is pretty cool. You can leave a note here that's kind of like a reminder when you come to this home app area to start your week or start your day. You can kind of have one of those really important kind of reminders set here. It's like, here's an important note about a thing I really need to remember. And then I've also added some links here that I need to save for later. I can make lists. I can do bulleted lists or numbered lists. I can do links themselves, which I can click on. It could be a really handy little note-taking scenario that you can use to kind of keep track of things you want to remember. That's one of them. Obviously, there is also the idea, whoops, let me go back here, add a widget. You do just have links themselves when you select that. So if you want to do just some quick links that you'd like to just save and add for later, you can do that as well, just on a widget by itself. That's pretty cool. I love the home app. I love what they're doing here. You may also notice we now have tabs and we also have the ability to reorder those tabs. So when you click here, you can say, hey, I actually want this one to go first or that one to go first, and I can reorder my tabs across the top. Not only that, but when you're looking at a particular dashboard that you've created, you can also add collaborators. So don't forget that. Those are some great new features that I really love that we're just starting to see Planning Center ramp up to. But let's also talk about one of the other things that I think admins will benefit from. Let's go back to people for this one. In this particular update, you now have the ability to manage permissions better. I'm going to go to my profile. I'm going to click on the manage permissions option here, and you'll notice you now have the ability to see across all the apps, and you can also add certain things right here without having to jump into the app and go set those settings. Now, I'm an org admin, so you're not going to see all of those things here, but trust me, you can now manage all of it right here in people, right from the manage permissions tab. That's also another one that's been a long time coming. Sure love to see that. Okay, let's take a look at the next one. So there's a bunch of different things that are happening here, but I'm going to point out some that I think are just some of the most important ones. This time we're going to jump into calendar. So let's jump over there, and I'm going to go ahead and close this little profile flyout. Let's go to events real quick here. Now, actually, when you're on the home screen here, you got the little cog or the sprocket here. That's where a lot of your background settings are found. This is a big deal. If you've ever dealt with importing different things and not having the ability to delete the import, you now have that ability. Now, it's only available for a certain amount of time. So with this particular one, I can't delete this right now. But if you catch it within the certain amount of time that they allow for, you can now delete and manage those imports right from this page. So one of the cool things about this is you no longer have to reach out to support to be able to delete your imports. Now, of course, it's only going to be available for 48 hours. So after 48 hours, it's permanent. But up until 48 hours, you're now going to be able to import an ICS file, bring those events into the calendar, and then if you didn't like what it brought in, you have the ability to delete it now. You can just nuke it, get rid of it, and click on delete import. Okay, let's jump back into people one more time. So let's go back to people and let's revisit lists. We've got another feature there that I think is really handy. So in this particular area, you'll notice you've now got a trash can right here where you can delete and clean up your lists right from this screen and not have to go into the list or click on it, go into the list, and then click delete. You can now do it right here and just simply get rid of this without even having to go in there. And it's so much faster and so so much easier to now clean up and manage your lists, keep them organized and clean. Lists are one of those things that build up quickly over time. So anytime you can kind of clean up a few of those unneeded lists, you're going to benefit from it in the long run. All right, let's go over to forms. Let's talk about forms one more time. Let's take a look at a new function. I think you've probably seen this if you've been in here, but under the settings tab, they have now put the download QR code option right here in the form status card. You can now just grab the QR code without previously having to go to the actual Church Center page and go down to the lower corner. When you're looking at a form, if you've never seen that before, generally on a Church Center page, you can go down to the lower right-hand corner, click on shareable code, and it's right here. That works on any Church Center page in case you ever need to do that. Now, also, you have the ability to pull that QR code down now, just going over here and clicking on download QR code. Okay, there are more than what I've just listed here, but that is a quick rundown on the ones that I think you need to know about. Definitely want to make these videos in the future so I can give you a quick digest of all the updates and where you can find them inside of Planning Center. Hopefully this helps you. Until next time, this is Jason with Threefold. Have a great week.